Hello everyone. This is MD Tahmidul Abedin and welcome to the Global Power Platform Bootcamp 2021. So this session topic is no code automation with Microsoft Power Automate. So I am MD Tahmidul Abedin. I am a software engineer in JNF2 Limited. I am also working as a SharePoint consultant and I have been awarded as a MVP in C Sharp Corner. I have a Microsoft certified solution developer on SharePoint and Azure development. Um, in general, I worked on ASP.NET, Office 365 solutions, Azure solution development, etc. To get contact with me, you can email me on onic43@gmail.com or on my LinkedIn. Or if you can contact or reach me, I have a website that tahmidulabedin.me, and as a technical writer I upload my blogs there. So let's start the session. Here at the session agendas, we'll try to complete this agendas as we are trying to um, focus on the beginner level personals and the business users to get know about our power platform. So this session targeted for the beginner level points. So here after completing these points, we'll have a demo, and after that we'll have a question answer. So let's start here. Microsoft Power Automate. So for Microsoft Power Automate, before going that, so Microsoft has introduced this Power Platform. The three components are Power BI, Power Apps, and Power Automate. Power BI, the previous speaker is talking, it was for business analytics, and for Power Apps, that is used for application development. And as today, for this session, we are talking about Power Automate, which is used for process automation. And all those components will be linked for common data connections, AI builder, and common data services that is provided by Microsoft in this platform. And as Power Automate, so what is Power Automate? Previously, it was known as MS Flow, as we already know. So this is a workflow service that automate action across the most common apps and services like this Power Apps and Power BI. If we want to connect them, Power Automate can be handy for that. And this is not only for a developer, it is also useful for a business person. So Microsoft is saying that Power Automate allows anyone with knowledge of the business to process repeatable flows that trigger into action and perform the process. So that was the definition, and we can say that. So why Power Automate, right? So why we are talking about Power Automate? What is important there? So this is for everyone. As we are saying, it is a design for everyone. All as experienced developer can use this. Also, business users can use this to automate their tasks or automate their business, right? So there seamless and secure integration there. So with Power Automate, we can seamlessly integrate them with other services provided by Microsoft or even third-party services. So that is one pointer to use that Power Automate. Next is scaling automation. So it can scale the automation efficiently across the organization. So allows everyone to create the Power Automate, or for a single automate, if multiple person can come together and create that thing, okay, in a collaboration procedure. So that is needful things or important things. The next point is accelerated productivity. So the Power Automate will accelerate our productivity or the organization's productivity. It will minimize the repetitive, manual, and time consuming tasks, and it provides more time for the teams to focus on the business. That will be very important point. And the next thing, the Power Automate is an intelligent automation. For intelligent automation, what do we mean that? So combining intelligence with automated workflows through embedded AI, that's what Microsoft says. But what does that mean? So it means that recently Microsoft has integrated RPA or robot process automation with Power Automate. And with that, we can easily automate our daily tasks like giving entry or even copying one huge files to another row by row. That can be done by this Power Automate. So those are very useful when we are talking in our daily life, right? So how this connects with other. So Power Automate provides more than 300 app connectors or service connectors by default. It has currently near about 320 built-in connectors to connect with different services. They supports both native and third party. I am saying about native like Outlooks, SharePoint, Dynamics, and etc. And even for third parties like Twitter, Gmail, and others, even Adobe. Adobe services can be connected with Power Automate with this providing connectors. Let's say we need a different connectors for our application, what we have been built. Okay, we need to connect with that Power Automate. We can also do that. There are procedure or process to do that. They have given us the options. So next, how to build this? Okay, so they have already provided different templates. So that's why they are saying the business users can easily use that. So if so there are someone tries to approve something, sorry. So for the approval, which is hugely used, they have provided some templates, and for button template, which will be very useful, and lots of other templates. So the point is there are by default templates, and you can use blank templates where nothing is there. You can start it from the scratch. So that will be handy. And what are the attributes of Power BI, Power Automate? So here are the attributes. First is diversified triggers. So what does that mean? This trigger starts your flow, which can be initiated from buttons, connected apps, or schedule. Like we need to trigger the flow by clicking a button, like a mobile button. It can be a mobile button. It can be an Power Apps button, something like that. Even for a specific event trigger in SharePoint or Dynamics, even in Excel or a specific folder in our computer, we want to if some files has been copied there, it will start the flow and it will work on regarding process. So that's an useful attribute. And the next is share like documents. So we can share build. Let's say I have built an Power Automate, and this flow will be needed my colleagues. So I can share it like a document. I can click on the share button, put his email address, and send it to him. He can collaborate it as his own entity, and he can update that as he needs. Also, the next is the seamless integration. As we have already talked, that the integration procedure is very seamless. They have already provided 320 connectors to connect with other services, and we can create other services as well. So the fourth is thousands of actions. So we can choose the built-in actions that is provided, and we can use them. Also, we can create actions with the help of Microsoft Azure Functional and other things, and we can use that easily. Like when an email is coming, it has an action, or sending an email, something like that. This is provided already by Microsoft there. Next is data connectivity. So whatever we are doing, that's the process that always we need data to save for a long time or a short time. So with Power Automate or Microsoft Flow, as we say, they provide us simple and secure way to data connect. To connect there are simpler connectivity facility there. We have already know that. And the next one is extensibility mode. So for automate advanced scenarios with multiple steps, branching conditions, and more, we can use this facility and synchronize files between first party and third party. We can do that here. And built-in data platform, that's an important thing for Power Automate and also other component of Power Platform. They use a specific data platform which is called Common Data Services, CDS, and that is built in provided there. We don't need to create or build something like that. That will come with the applications on its own. And the last one is intelligent automation. So building flows, if that is provide some AI, we can do our daily tasks more easily, as we have saying previously that even if we want to copy files from a folder regarding some conditions, that can be done with our Power Automate. Okay. So next, there are different types of Power Automates. Basically, there are 5 types of Power Automates. So first one is automated flow. So automated flows triggers from a service regarding an event. Let's say for SharePoint, if we try to create an item in a SharePoint list, it will trigger the flow, or that can be used as an automated flow. If you work with SharePoint, you know that Microsoft has already deprecated SharePoint 2010 workflows, right? So they have already suggested to use Power Automate to replace that. So there it is heavily used, this type of Power Automate, which is called automated flow. The next is instant flow. So what is instant flow? Instant flows, which is very much used and most popular, but it is like triggering instantly, like clicking a button, something like a mouse button. There is provided actions for, mobile button. There is a flow button for mobile. We can use that to trigger this flow. Something like Power Apps. In Power Apps, if we try to execute an action which is not possible, or there's a bigger lengthy action which is not possible to conduct with Power Apps, we can do that through clicking a button, and that will done by our Power Automate. That can be done. So next type of Power Automate is scheduled flow. We can say it MS flow for now, for saying. So scheduled flow, what is scheduled flow? It is exactly what it sounds, right? So the flow will run based on the stated time and date. So we can have knowledge about timer job, something like that, web job, right? So what happens on there? It will be scheduled for specific time or specific interval, and it will run in that scheduled time or date. So similarly, here we can schedule it, and it will be running for a regular interval or a specific time we wanted. So as an example, if you want to create a flow which runs every day at 5 p.m., we can use this schedule flow. That will work. And next is desktop flow. So desktop flow is newly introduced. Previously, there was UI flow, they are saying. So newly introduced desktop flow is Microsoft has announced that they used the RPA, the robotic process automation, with this desktop flow. So on a side note, RPA is like get a robot to capture and interpret application for process and manipulating data, triggering responses, and communicating with other digital systems, right? So we can do that with the desktop flow, as we are previously giving example, like copying files from one folder to another folder, really copying Word files in an Excel, and even a hectic job like when data analysts do that, analyzing a text file, right? There's lots of dump data. We need to analyze that and input that in an Excel. That can be also done in desktop flow. That's a huge relief for persons and for daily life, right? And the next is business process flow. That's different than other flows we have discussed, the previous flow, 4 flows, right? Basically, it is used with Microsoft Dynamics 365 to ensure the data consistently throughout the whole process. And if we give an example, so let's say we want to validate our presentation. This presentation I want to validate. Let's say I have a team. That's two parts of the team. First one validates the pronunciation, vocabulary, something like that. Sorry again. And the next team will validate the UI part, right? So what will happen? I'll create and this is a regular process for me. Let's say this is a regular process. So I'll create a business flow where the first it will be starting when a person will upload the PPT and he'll start that. Then it will go with an email, send an email and give an form to validate the user first team, and he will put some input, something like that. So in the business flow, we can accumulate automated flow, scheduled flow, or something like that, or even Power Apps form. All those can be accumulated in business process flow. Okay, then. So now we are giving a demo. So I think you can see my screen, right? I'm stop sharing and share again with my application. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay. So as Asanul Kubir Bhai said that we are trying to make this easier for the business users and the beginners. So we are not going in a very deep. I just want to get something interesting. So I think Power Automate Desktop will be good for that as a demo, right? Because there are some interesting things that has been provided by Microsoft, which are not previously we saw very recently. So let's say we create an demo 1. We said that demo 1. Okay. It will take some time. So when it is doing that, this is a desktop application. We have to download that and install that in our PC. So without Power Automate Desktop, we can work with the other types of automate. We had saw that instant flow, uh, something like automated flow, scheduled flow. Those everything can be done in the browser, right? The provided website for Power Automate. But for desktop, Power Automate Desktop, which has been in small, we can say PAD, that need to be done in installed application. So in this demo, it has been already opened up for us. So here we'll first we'll try to read a text file. Okay, let's say we can we do that? So read a text file. Here is files we see. So we want to read text file. Okay, read text from file. Let's. Okay, so this is an action which is saying read text from file. We can put the file path here. And this is the parameter saying the store content as single line value, single text value, and list. So single text value will do something like it will read the whole text of that file, and the list will read line by line, something like that. Okay. And this encoding, that's default UTF-8. We can change that if we need, but UTF-8 is fine for me now. So I have a file ready for this demo. So let me select that. This is the text file. Here I have 3 lines. A, B, C, D is the first line, second line is 1, 2, 3, 4, and third line is POIU. Okay, we will try to read this. It's first we'll see if it can read it, right? Okay, we have selected our file and save. So it has been saved, right? And if we can see that it has created a variable which is called flow variable, and this variable name is file contents, right? When it is going to read this data, it will store in it in the file contents. So we want to see if it really save or store the data in file contents. So let's have a display message. Okay. Let's say display message. We will take this action. Okay. So this is this wants us to select some parameters, which first is message box title. Let's say dialog box. So that is basically this one display message. It is saying that is the title, right? So we are saying that our title will be the dialog box or demo dialog box. Okay. And what will be the message? Let's say first we'll give a simple message. Successfully completed, let's say. Okay. We don't need any icon, or this the default button will be okay. We don't want to change anything. That we'll just save that. Okay. So here, if we can see that first it will read the file and save here and give us a message saying successfully completed. Let's see if it happens. I just trying to save it. Then I will run. Okay, this is saved. Let's run it. So, okay, it has gone in that text file. It has read that ABCD 1, 2, 3 and PYU. I hope you can see that. So that is reading my our text file, and it is giving a text message. Okay, okay. So we want to read this thing and show us in our text box. Okay, let's edit this one, and we want to see these values in our dialog box. To do that, this is the variable. We saw that this here it is storing the values. So we are showing this variable in our display. Okay. So in PAD, they will always provided and this marks for variable. Okay, declaring the variable. This need to be there. So let's save and run. Let's see. Okay, it is providing us the values of the text file and saying, okay, these are the values. Okay, we found that. Next, we will do something like we want to read line by line. Currently, we are reading the full text of that file, right? Let's say we want to read line by line. We need a loop, right? Because we need to read it consecutively. So let's say go to the loop. We need a for loop, for each loop. So in the for each loop, here that needs a value to iterate. So which value we should put? We should put this file contents. Let's say file contents we have selected, and it will iterate every single line. It is iterating by line in the current item. Save. So we will put our message dialog box here, and we don't need that. We want to read the current item for every line. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay. It is giving us an error saying file content must be a list, data table or data row. Okay. So this is the file content again. We are okay. Sorry, we have done one thing.
We cannot see it.
Yes,
Making
it was selected as a text. Yes. So we need to select it as the list, right? Yes. Sorry, my bad. So yes, now it should work. Thank you. So now it should.
I think the screen is static now. We cannot see it getting changed. You're making some changes, but we can't see it on the screen. At least on the Teams, I cannot see it.
Okay, let me stop presenting and
Yeah,
present.
yeah.
Can you see my screen now?
Yeah, now we can change. Now the skin has changed.
Okay, we can see the cursor running. Okay, so that's good. Okay, so here to show the each and every line, we have changed it from single text value to the list. Okay, now it will read line by line from the text file. And we have added here this for each loop for this uh, list, which will storing the value here, right? And saving here as an single line. And here it is. We are showing that. Hopefully that will work. Okay. So first it is reading A, B, C, D. So we have the first line is A, B, C, D, right? So the next line is 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's also done. Okay. So the last line is POIU. That was the last line. So it successfully read all the lines. So now we want to write them, right? We have read all those lines here and show them. We can save them in a Excel, in a Word, or wherever we want. So for now, for this demo, we'll just write them in a text file. So search for that, write text to file. Okay. So here we have to put an file path where we'll want to write that, right? So in my desktop, I want to create a new file, which will be demo.txt. Okay. And what text it will be written. So this, it can be right. So one pointer, you see, for this, we can get the count and length. If it is an empty, is the conditions. So even if we want to uh, process this data with some conditions we can do that, right? Here are the values of this to is it is empty, what is the length, and something like that. So for now we are writing all the data in the first file to the second file. So this is the all the data has been stored here. So we select that and just append the content. Okay, Unicode save. Let's run. Okay. Okay, again, those has been shown, so it has been done. So to show the file, I think I have to change. Okay, you see here we have written all those things twice as we had appended them. Okay, so this way we can read the files data and manipulate them and write here. Okay, wherever we want, how we want. Now again go to our demo. Okay, so this is the sample demo, and next we are try to look that RPA thing, robotic process automation, what we are saying. Okay, again it is, yeah. So to do that, we'll take a new flow, which will be demo 2. Here, what we'll do, we will do something with our browser cursor, and we will record them. And the application, the Power Automate, will do that as we have been done for an first recorded. Okay. So can you see the screen for the demo 2? Or should I have to add again? Hello.
Can
Yeah.
see.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah. So let's first let's open the calculator. Okay, that will be easier. So this is the action run application. So this application path, we have to put the application path here. So I have copied that.
Again, can't see.
Yeah, just a minute. You can see that, right? It is.
Cannot as of now.
Okay. Okay. So this is the run application. I think it is shared again, right? Yeah. So this action run application, we have added the application path for the calculator. We just added here the exe file path, and the other parameter will be same for now. We don't need anything here, and we are saved. Okay. So now we'll do one thing. We'll open our calculator. So I think we have. To show the calculator. Screen 1, screen meeting calculator. Okay. So here you are seeing the calculator only. So what we will do, we will add the UI elements from here. Okay. So from this elements, we'll going there, and let's say we'll select control and left click 9, control multiple, and control 6, then equal. What happened? Done. It's screen sharing is okay. So it recorded our actions here. Button 9, button multiple by I mean this button, and the next button 6, right? So for it is taking us to recording these states as button clicking, and if we want, we can do one thing, like what will happen here, clicking this button, and to do that, we will do something like again it is not coming. Let me share again. Can I share this full screen instead of any application window? Is there an option? Hello.
হ্যাঁ, শুনতে পাচ্ছি, বলেন।
আসান ভাই, আমি
হ্যাঁ।
শুধু একটা অ্যাপ্লিকেশন বাদে পুরো স্ক্রিন শেয়ার করতে পারেন এখানে?
ফুল স্ক্রিন?
হ্যাঁ, ফুল স্ক্রিন।
ডেস্কটপটা?
ডেস্কটপ সিলেক্ট করলে কি ফুল স্ক্রিন আসবে? আচ্ছা, আই থিংক এটা আসছে এখন, রাইট? Okay. So what I was trying to show that here, let's open this one that was doing a problem for us. So we want to open the calculator and click some buttons or click some open a browser, and we want to store that, right? Let's say it's each and every day we have to come in the office and copy something file or clicking some buttons, and that's a daily procedure. In each and every day we have to do that. So we can write something like that here. These are the actions is called the UI elements. Here it is there, right? So we can add them here in our window and we can run them. What will happen, we'll see. Okay. So I am not doing anything. It is opening up on its own. It is clicking again, and this is coming. So like this way, we can click wherever we want, right? So to open a browser and getting something, let's say open a browser going in a specific URL and logging on that URL, that can be also done with this RPA procedure, right? But with code, that will be a big hassle, which is very easier here. So it will make our daily life very easy. That's what I was saying. So that is the Power Automate desktop things. So I have already taken my time going back to the slide. So we have covered